All right. Once again, on the Brett Allan Show, we're joined by actor Matt Shively about season three of Lopez versus Lopez premiering next Friday. Congratulations. It's good to see you again. And yeah, another season in the books. Very cool stuff.
I always know things are going well when I'm back in your presence. So
No,
yes, this is great.
thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, this is cool. We spoke with Al earlier, and this is awesome. Your storyline continues. We get to see more of you and your relationship on the show and just figuring things out. So he said something interesting. A season three of anything is huge. So how does it feel to have this going again? And thank you for the kind words. This is very cool. I'm excited for people to see this.
Yeah, I've never gotten to a season three on a show. So
Okay.
this is my first time experiencing that, and it really has been a different kind of experience. It does feel like the show is fully taken on what it is, and everybody's just absolutely crushing it, and everybody feels very comfortable. So there's just a much more relaxed vibe on set, which has made it kind of a lot more fun just in being able to kind of come up with ideas, and then also, the writers have been absolutely crushing it, and they've really found kind of the specialty that everybody has. And so it feels like all of our characters have taken full form this season, whereas the first two seasons everybody was kind of growing and figuring each other out and figuring out what we were best at. Whereas this season it's like everybody knows exactly their role, what they're doing, and they're doing it their best.
Yeah, well, it's awesome too because you get to have your characters breathe a little bit, right? And we get to know them a little bit more, which is cool. And I think for you too, that's awesome because you get to explore more of Quentin, Maya, your plans to get married, all of those things. So I asked Al the same question, and I'm interested to know about you and your thoughts. Now that you've played this character three seasons, how much better do you know him, and what are you most excited about for people to learn about him when this premieres next Friday?
It, I think it comes with doing a third season of it, but I think that uh, I remember it was, I think, episode two that we were shooting of this season where I was like, oh, Quentin has finally become Quentin. Like
Yeah.
he's finally comfortable in his position in the family. He knows where he stands, and so it's been a lot more fun, kind of not being as timid as he's always been. And when George is talking trash to him, he kind of is talking trash back, and that was something that I remember when we started season two. I really wanted to see because it was like at some point Quentin's got to kind of get a little strength and become a little more comfortable being in this family. And once he is, then we can have more fun with all of the characters with Quentin. And so there's been that, and they've been giving me a lot more physical comedy, which is something I absolutely love doing. I started on Nickelodeon, so if you put a banana on the floor, I'm gonna fall, and it's gonna be great. um,
Yes.
so they've been giving me a lot more opportunities of that, and so it's Quentin is just a lot more confident this season, and so that's kind of opened up the door to him having a little more fun with each plot that he goes through.
Yes, and as it's known, you all have just a cavalcade of guest stars. Each season, just it seems like more and more people, and like there's this kind of multiverse of Lopez characters that come in and out of the show. I think he's pretty much had everybody from his other shows on there. Yeah, at least once. Which is that fun for you to get to experience that world and see these people come in and out?
It's extremely surreal. Because it's every time it's somebody that I usually grew up watching,
Mm.
and the fact that I mean, when we did the Cheech and Chong episode, being a part of that tag where they were singing Mexican American, and I was kind of sitting there going like, how did I get here? Like at some point in the last 3 years I turned right instead of left, and it brought me to this place, and it's been crazy. And we have Vicki Lawrence playing my mom this season, and I remember Mama's Family was like one of the first shows I ever saw with my mom at 4 years old. And that was like my introduction to multicam. And then to be standing on set with her and doing scenes with her it's a very surreal experience to be able to work with so many insanely talented people, but also just like people who have been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I think that's very cool. Well, we've mentioned a lot of different things, but what are you most excited about for the fans to learn about him this season? I know you mentioned a couple things, but I think it's cool that we get to see him just grow, which is fun to watch and all of these different things. A better way of asking that maybe is, what are you looking forward to the most as this continues on in your life? And it's just a cool thing to have gotten to know you and watch you each season progress and become more and more involved with the show with all the different levels that you get to experience.
I think the thing I'm most excited about, both for myself and then also for the people watching, is that they've taken all of the best things about Quentin from the first and second season and they've solidified them in the third season. And so the things that I was having the most fun doing in season 1 and 2, I get to do in every episode this time. The writers have fully found the voice of this character, which has in turn made me understand the character a lot more. And so this season, Quentin is a lot more fun to watch. He's not the scared guy that he's been since day one. He still definitely has his moments, but there's a lot more. It's a lot more surprising, I guess, when you see the way that Quentin responds, because it's usually in a much more frightened way, and this time he's kind of being a little stronger about it. And so I think the fans are going to be drawn to the fact that Quentin is kind of catching them by surprise with how he handles situations.
Yeah, well, again, this season, the wedding plans continue, all of the wonderful things that happen. And also George's sobriety, which we get more of that, growing older, which neither are graceful. But I
Yeah.
think it's very cool. I have to ask, when you're working with all of these comedic types, Al Madrigal, is it hard to? I mean, I know breaking is not really something you're supposed to do necessarily, but is it hard to keep a straight face with a lot of the jokes that are written? I don't know. I feel like there's just everybody's having a good time when I watch you all.
Luckily, we rehearse the jokes that are written. We spend enough time rehearsing that after the first couple rehearsals, we're all able to keep it together. But when you have somebody like Al, or especially somebody like George, when we actually go to shoot it, we'll get what's written a couple times, and then George usually has 2 or 3 lines in his back pocket that he is not let anybody know about, and that's when it becomes way harder, because he'll just say some stuff where you're just like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? And he's become a lot more kind of big and broad and stuff, so his delivery has become it's very difficult not to laugh. But I guess that's why we're professionals. We do our best.
Yeah, well, you all seem to do well, but I feel like there's moments where you're delivering lines, and I think that's the art of what you do. It's hard to tell if I'm sure you're sticking to the script, but it comes off as so natural and improv a little bit, where it's just funny and you're able to let the laughs breathe. Last time I spoke, it was to you, it was kind of a mix of live and other things. Are you getting audiences in now? Are they able to come and watch fully now?
Yeah, we've had. There's only been one episode this season that we weren't able to have an audience, and that was because we were filming on a lot of different other locations.
Gotcha.
But what's been great is we used to just shoot like a few scenes on Monday, and then we would do the rest along with those in front of the audience. Now we try to shoot the entire show before audience, so that when the audience comes in, it really is just kind of for fun. Like we and that way we can kind of improv a little more. We can come up with our own things, or the writers will come and give us alts and stuff like that. But they already have it all in the can, so then it becomes way more of just like a fun experience for both the cast and also the audience watching. Plus, the audience now are all people who are watching the show every week, so they know what they're watching, and so they're having even more fun based on the fact that they're used to watching this at home, and now they get to be there in person. And so it's been a really cool experience watching just the progression of the reactions from the audience since season 1.
Well, very cool. Well, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, Matt. Congratulations on a season three, which, as I said, in this industry, oftentimes is very rare. And to be able to tell a story this long is huge. But we're excited to see where Quentin goes. have a little bit of an idea. And of course, Mayan and the wedding plans and your 5-year-old son. And that's cool too to have watched that actor continually grow up. And he has some of the best lines. I feel like they really give him funny stuff, which I think is so
He's
cool.
36. He's 36. Everybody thinks he's 9. He's 36 years old. This kid is he's the best child actor there's ever been, and he understands comedy and timing better than I ever could, and that's just a fact.
That's awesome. Very cool stuff. Way more advanced than I was at 9. I will tell you that for sure. Very cool. Well, congratulations. Next Friday, October 18th, this premieres. Thank you so much again. It's always great to chat with you, and I appreciate your time, Matt, very much.
Always, man. Thank you, Brett.
Absolutely.